So I have one more question.
Yeah.
We talked before in our previous conversation about uncertainty, about this inability to accept uncertainty and what's around. But you also said that actually in the past you used to worry about some things and how things would be, later in life, and now you
Yeah.
don't about it anymore. How is it possible? Because I think for me personally, I think that it is you need to have some kind of progress or maybe maturity to get to this point where that no longer stresses you. And I also told you that I understand it because as a person who runs, a small business,
Mm.
uh, I have no certainty as well, because one day I have clients, the next month I may have no clients at all. So there
Mm.
are certain things that I can plan, but
Yes.
even right now, though some things seem to be quite stable, they don't
Mm.
exist anymore, or they are just suspended, and I don't know how long for. So how did you manage to get to this point?
I managed.
Don't worry.
I would take you back again to that little book I was talking about, the Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That provides a lot of very simple, practical advice about how to look at life. And I think one of the things that Susan Jeffers portrayed in her book was to make a way to find positivity in everything. And I know some of your viewers and listeners will now say, no, positivity. Well, that's all very easy. I mean, if you just think positive, he doesn't have my life and he hasn't seen what I've seen. There's a
Mhm.
difference between being positive and optimistic and being naive. There is a way to frame things that to most people will initially seem negative, but there's always a positive side to everything. So I would say to you, when I lost my medical, it was a huge opportunity for me to look at my life again and to think, what is it that I'm missing? I've spent the last 20 years traveling the world, sitting in strange little hotels and even stranger little countries. And I've missed so much of my life that I would have had if I had been, shall we say, in a more traditional job.
Mhm.
Please don't get me wrong, I'm not in any way denigrating the life I've had, but it has been challenging. And so I found that actually I got pleasure from life's little things. I got pleasure from seeing my garden grow. I got pleasure from seeing my wife smile. Just lots of little things which add up to, I think the word is happiness. When we go to work, if we can, it's an ideal situation to be happy. You're so much more effective. You're so much more, I hate to use the words, but attractive. People are drawn to you when you're happy. You have an ability to persuade people of the nature of life in a positive sense if you yourself are happy. And so I managed to find a way to do that. And I can only say that it isn't any one thing, but it is taking the time to look at life from a very different point of view, in that the things that you see as negative can be turned around 180 degrees, and they are an opportunity to see life and to live life in a different way. So right now, I've just been uh, pushed out of my company. They didn't even tell me I was gone. I just got an email saying, "Could we have our computer back?" That's the amount of respect that aviation gives you sometimes. So at the end of it all, I just take it that, well, people are people. They are flawed, just as we all are. Now, you could sit and be angry, and you could hate, and you could rail against the world, and you could say, this is not right, this is not just. Or you could just say, This is people doing what people do when they don't think they've got a choice. They behave badly. They behave in a way which you would think, if that was me, I would do it differently. And so I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm now looking towards life with a positive viewpoint. I'm seeing things I can do with myself that I never had a chance to do before, talking to wonderful people like you. And that, to me, is so important. It goes way beyond the simple act of uh, turning around a word and making it into something else. It's a whole new way of thinking about life. And I found it very powerful, and it got me through some very hard times. And I'm sure it will for yourself and for many others who listen to this today, if they give it a chance. That's all I would ask for.
Exactly. Hmm. I agree 100%.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, Mirella, I'm very grateful to you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you and to your viewers. It's a real honor, and I very much appreciate what you've done for me today.
I'm really happy that we got the chance to talk again. And I would like you to give some advice to those who, struggle right now. You said something nice in the afternoon when we talked, that you would tell people not to give up on their dreams. And this is something I personally really like, because
Yeah,
that I'm the example of somebody who managed to realize the dream of becoming a flight attendant at the age of 30, when some people think that it's already the time when you should settle
yeah,
down and have your family and, your
yeah,
husband, stay at home. And she quit the job at school after 8 years, and she went to the Middle
yeah.
East to fly. That was my
Well,
dream, and I'm happy I managed to realize. What is your advice?
Well, I am so glad you persevered, because I think you've given the world a lot just by being the person you are, and by the nature of your job in the cabin, you meet a vast quantity of people every day, and the way that you come across, the way that you behave, we have an impact on everybody we meet every single day. So I think your role in the cabin, and for pilots, we all have an ability to affect each other, and that's very powerful. But what you were saying, I strongly believe that these times are challenging. Yes, they are an opportunity to see ourselves in a different way. But if you have the dream that I had all those years ago, and I would have sawn off my right leg if I had thought that it was going to get me a job as a pilot. And I would have done anything, and many people still will. It's a very strong motivation to deal with. And so, therefore, if that is your dream, don't let it fade. I How can I put this? I failed many, many exams when I first started flying. I'm not an ace of the bait, if you want to call it that. Many people use that phrase as a joke for the least competent pilot. Um, I'm certainly not the least competent, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to be the best to have a great impact. You can, if you can survive the stresses, if you can break through those moments of darkness when you think, God, I just want to give up, this is so crap, and just keep going, then that will get you to where you want to be. And there's so many poems and memes on the internet. I'm sure you've seen them. It's all about the darkest hour just before the dawn. If you can push through that, if you can get to the point whereby you just take that extra step
Mhm.
and keep going, I bet you'll get to where you want to be. It's just the process of what do you do between now and actually getting into that position you want to be in. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. And to divert your attention away from your dream, it almost feels like a dishonorable thing to do. It's like being a traitor to your dream. And I understand that. But at the same time, I would say to those who are in that position right now, don't give up your dream, but plan B is important. Look after your mental health because that is what will keep you going through the darkest hours. And find the joy in life that maybe you hadn't noticed because you've been so busy training, being ambitious, striving, because that takes up an awful lot of mental energy. And if you can just slow down for a moment and find what it is in your life that gives you joy, that is powerful stuff. And that will get you through anything.
Yes, definitely. All right. So thank you very much for your time. I'm really, really happy
Mirella.
we managed to, catch up again and
Absolutely.
exchange opinions. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you again.
Oh, absolutely, Mirella. Well, look, as I've said to you before, I really feel very strongly that what you do is of huge importance to people at the moment. Please keep doing it. And all I would say to you is also look after yourself.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mirella.